Where is the bonny boy and the innocence of his race? Over there, near where the land of the free whites descends into Mexico, breathing car fumes and warm darkness. On the balcony of a very cheap hotel, overlooking 8 lanes of red and white lights, he was roused from his contemplation of the cheap wine in his tooth mug by the sound of laughter which came from the TV behind him in his room. He turned and saw the bashful and handsome face of a famous Irish movie star struggling to seem a good sport on the midnight talk show on NBC. Irish, like him, born on that last mean spit out of the gob of Europe, congealed on the brink of the Atlantic pit. His wife had marveled at his Irishness often, while it still seemed like an exotic perfume which she had brought back here from abroad, before it became a stifling aroma to be dispelled. Now he was just one more skill-free wetback with a liking for drink. Alcohol doesn't heal sadness, it just puts it out of focus. Eerin, go Braghag, beat me up, granddad. Eerin, go Braghag, you've been had way bound and God made mad. Still, he had been lucky to get bail. The credit card in which he'd had his little spree turned out to have been the property of a murder victim. Such were the pitfalls he'd led a sheltered life up to recently, yet here he was, striving to compete locally with the baddest motherfuckers on earth. Take his ex-neighbor who had sold him the card and had taken his place in jail. He had claimed variously to be the heir to a fortune, a cocaine baron and a police detective. Who could tell what the truth was in such a place? Could the liars or could the decent people like his wife's mother, whose guilt he had been able to milk one last time for the bail money? Well, he hated to let her down, but it was time to leave. He had spent the last of his money on tonight's fragrant bed, and so there was no legal way out. He would cross the border on foot tomorrow. How difficult could it be? All the blue eyes were on the desperate people coming the other way. He would slip through and live on their abandoned goods. He was of peasant stock after all. Eerin, go Braghag, beat me up, granddad. Eerin, go Braghag, you've been had way bound and God made mad. The next day, shortly after sunrise, he was sitting on a trolley car bound for the border. Growing nervous, he got off 2 stops early. Soon he was crossing a sleepy trailer park and entering a dense clump of tall and unfamiliar vegetation. After he had walked some distance, the path trailed off and he was lost. And then he saw it. It had the head of a pig, with clear green eyes and the body of a donkey. It spoke to him. "Do not be afraid," it said. "I mean you no harm." It went on to explain how it was the sole survivor of a species whose existence had always been concealed by science, how it was in fear of its life from agents of the US government and simply had to escape to Mexico. It would guide him there if he would protect it. He agreed, his hands shaking. And so it was that at sunset on that day, having crept for many hours through poor people's dried-up yards, the blind sides of factories and warehouses, they walked away from the paved road and into the desert, home only to wild, alien, cold-blooded animals. The laughable fluke of nature, soon to be extinct, and the talking donkey with the head of a pig.